just beats don't work these days, because you can throw a rock and hit a dope beat.
Yo!
Sorry for showing so little of the music. It was just a lot of talking today. Skyped with J. Kanan,
Malex.
We did some strategizing and planning basically for the business, for the financial stuff. We already shot a video about it, but it's just so important that we're gonna say it again. You know, when people start making money with beats, they like put it all in their pockets and they're happy that they start earning money and
start living the life.
Living the life, but man, it's not gonna last long if you don't reinvest some of that, man. So some plans right now
on that, where to put money, where is smart, because I mean we've been doing this for quite some time now, and been putting money down several lanes, you know, seeing where it works, where it's beneficial, where it's converting to sales and all that type of stuff. Now we were pretty much just thinking about new ways to invest, like where to invest, just you know, being smart about it, where to reinvest the money that we make off the music. Obviously that's not so interesting to watch as it is to watch us making music, but some days are not that fancy, you know? Not even about music, because at the end of the day, even making music is a business. So a lot of business stuff is gonna happen in our everyday life.
And business is just not fancy. So if you listen to our stuff, you probably notice there's a lot of high-pitched vocal lines and voices. Most of these come from a vocal library that we produced. It's called the Purple Clouds Vocal Library. I just wanted to show you like my editing chain. So first of all, I transpose them so that they fit the pitch of the other instruments. But in this case, for example, the vocals have been in A, and the instruments have been in C, so I had to transpose everything up 3 semitones. Sounds like this. One thing I always add is a little bit of pitch correction, just to get rid of any unwanted notes. What I always add is the RVox vocal compressor, and I just put the compression rate to -10. So that I get rid of unwanted like loudness differences. The reverb that I always use on these vocals is the Valhalla Vintage Verb. Most of the time I just go with presets and just fumble around with them a little bit. So in this case I lowered the mix to 55% instead of 100. This is how the vocal line sounds so far. Definitely hear a lot of that stuff in our beats. Filtering. I use the Camel Crusher for filtering stuff like 90% of the time. Just filtered some highs off. FabFilter Pro Q to get rid of some of the boxiness right here. In this particular beat, it kind of felt unnecessary, so I put it down. The last thing that I added is the H delay from Waves. And I just set a delay rate that I like, a mix that I like. I do everything basically just by taste. After I've done all of that stuff, I route all of the instruments and the vocals, everything that I want to sound like it's tied together, into a group. And on that group, I add some finalizing effects so that everything sounds like it's like a sample or something. In this case, I added another sound shifter to give it more of a sample effect. Like if you speed up, for example, a record on the turntable, if you speed it up, the pitch also goes up a little bit. So this is kind of to emulate this effect. Also added some R bass. Works really cool on snares. You can find like the snare frequency and shift the R bass to that position. I like using this to like beef up all sorts of instruments. More EQing, basically just EQ'd out the same frequencies that I EQ'd out on the vocals. I like to use the stock plugin dual filter from Cubase to roll off some low end, another Camel Crusher to filter off the high end. And with this one, I also do automations in the track. Also, what I added was the Waves Maserati group tool. With this one, I basically turn everything to 0 and saved that as a preset. And then I turn all the knobs up just slightly. There's like a lot of stuff just going on in the back end of this plugin. Yeah, in this case, I just put the compression to 5, the sensitivity to 5. So everything is really, really, really subtle, but it makes a difference. Another Fab Filter EQ. I just found some annoying guitar frequencies at the end. Everything together sounds kind of like this. So basically this sounds like some sort of sample that you grabbed somewhere and sped it up a little bit. So it's basically the same procedure every time. I like to use the Camel Crusher for filtering high stuff. Like to use the dual filter to get rid of all the low stuff that I don't want. Love using the Valhalla Vintage Verb. And yeah, that's how I personally use these vocal sounds. So you can check them out for yourself. They're really, really dope. If you need some inspiration on how to use them, can just use this technique.
Just beats don't work these days because you can throw a rock and hit a dope beat. But it's like, how do you stand out? It's like, how do you get in the door? And it's exactly what we're talking about. You have to have hooks, you have to have concepts. And if you want to get into the pop game, or the R&B game, the stuff that really makes a lot of money, you have to have writers that know how to pen full songs. Hold on to this. If you do a song 100%, it'll never get chosen. So I have the 70% rule, right? I make a track and I get it to where it's about 70%. It's a concept, but it still sounds open. Like there could be more things added to it or more writing to be done. You pitch that. They're thinking money, they're also thinking their artistry. Yeah. They're gonna want writing credit on it. And if they weren't able to write anything on it, they know they're not gonna be able to make any money on it.
Yeah.
Okay. From a producer standpoint, those writers that you deal with, 9 times out of 10, they have go-to producers already. Yeah. Okay, and they're gonna want their team to touch the track in some way, shape, or form.